Two people earn the exact same salary. One of them feels wealthy. The other feels like he is quietly falling behind. Nothing separates them but the people standing closest to them. The first is the richest man in his building. The second parks his ordinary car in the driveway every night, right next to his neighbor's brand new one. Same income, same account balance, same numbers on the same screen. Two completely different experiences of money, and the entire difference is happening inside their heads in a place no paycheck can reach. This is relative comparison. The reason your sense of wealth has almost nothing to do with how much you actually have. Your brain does not measure money in dollars. It measures money in distance. How far ahead? How far behind? And once you see it working, you will notice it running underneath almost every feeling you have ever had about your own money. In 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger noticed something strange about the human mind. He was studying how people judge themselves, their abilities, their opinions, their worth, and he found that when there is no objective ruler to measure against, people do something automatic, something they can't switch off. They look sideways. They measure themselves against whoever happens to be nearby. Festinger called it social comparison. His insight was simple and a little unsettling. Much of what you feel about yourself is not really about you at all. It's about the gap between you and the people you happen to stand beside. Take away the crowd, and the feeling has nothing left to measure. A tall man alone in a room is neither tall nor short. He only becomes tall the moment someone shorter walks in. For decades, this stayed a theory about self-esteem. Then economists began to wonder whether it explained something about money, too. Because money, it turns out, is the perfect thing to compare. It comes with a number attached. It shows up in the world as houses, cars, watches, holidays, visible, rankable, endlessly measurable. If the mind is built to compare, money is the material it compares best. And when researchers finally put it to the test, what they found was far stranger than anyone expected. In 1998, two researchers at Harvard, Sarah Solnick and David Hemenway, ran a survey that sounds almost absurd. They asked people to choose between two imaginary worlds. In the first world, you earn $50,000 a year, and everyone around you earns $25,000. In the second world, you earn $100,000 a year, but everyone around you earns $200,000. Read that again. In the second world, you are objectively richer, twice the money, twice the buying power, twice the life you could actually afford. About half the people chose the first world. They chose to earn less, real money, half as much, half the house, half the future, for the single reward of being ahead of everyone around them. They looked at a life with twice the wealth and turned it down, because in that life they would be the poorest people in the room. They did not want more. They wanted more than. And that is the first clue that something inside us is not tracking wealth at all. It is tracking position. 9 years later, a team at the University of Bonn watched this happen inside the living brain. Led by Fliessbach, they placed pairs of volunteers into brain scanners and had them do the same simple task for money. Sometimes both men were paid the same. Sometimes one was paid more than the other. Here is the finding that should unsettle you. When a man earned a reward, the pleasure center of his brain lit up exactly as you would expect. But when he earned the very same amount of money and learned that his partner had earned more, that same pleasure center went quieter. Same cash, same account, measurably less joy, purely because someone next to him got more. His brain was not responding to the money, it was responding to the ranking. Nothing in his wallet had changed. The number was identical whether his partner earned more or less. But the meaning of that number was rewritten in an instant by a single piece of information about someone else. Your reward system, the ancient circuitry that makes winning feel good, does not truly care what you have. It cares where you stand. In 2010, three British researchers, Christopher Boyce, Gordon Brown, and Simon Moore, pushed this all the way to its conclusion. They analyzed the incomes and the life satisfaction of tens of thousands of people, and they asked one precise question. What actually predicts how satisfied you feel with your life, the amount you earn or your rank among the people you compare yourself to? It was rank, not the size of the paycheck, not even how it measured up on average. It was your ordered position, first, fifth, 100th, in your own private league table. Two people can earn identical salaries and feel worlds apart because one sits near the top of their comparison group and the other sits near the bottom. Give a man a raise, and if everyone around him got the same raise, his satisfaction barely moves. His pay went up. His rank did not. The mind shrugged. This is the comparison ladder. Every one of us is standing on one. And the cruel design of the ladder is this. No matter how high you climb, there is almost always someone standing on the rung just above. The rich feel rich because they can see the people below them, and you feel behind because your eyes are fixed, always, on the ones above. There is one final turn. In 1974, the economist Richard Easterlin noticed that whole countries had grown dramatically richer over the span of decades, and reported no more happiness than before. Everyone had risen together, so no one had risen in rank. The ladder simply floated upward, and the view from every rung stayed exactly the same. Now think about what your ladder looks like. For almost all of human history, you compared yourself to a village. A few dozen people, most of them roughly like you, most of them within reach. If someone had a slightly bigger harvest, you could see it, and you could imagine matching it. The gap was small, the gap was human. Today, you compare yourself to everyone, every polished apartment, every upgrade, every distant stranger's single best day, delivered into your hand 1,000 times a week. You are no longer measuring yourself against the family down the road. You are measuring yourself against the richest, most photographed, most curated lives on the planet, all at once, all day. The comparison group that used to be a village is now the entire planet's highlight reel. The ladder has no top anymore. It just keeps climbing out of sight, and you keep looking up. It is tempting to read all of this as a moral failing, envy, greed, ingratitude, the nagging sense that you should simply be content with what you already have. But the research points somewhere else entirely. This is not weakness. It is architecture. For nearly all of human history, relative position was survival itself. Rank decided who ate first, who was protected, who reproduced, and who did not. Absolute wealth was meaningless in a world with no banks and no way to store it. The only thing that mattered was where you stood next to the people around you. So your brain evolved an exquisitely sensitive instrument for measuring exactly that. And that instrument is still running. It has no idea the village became a planet. It simply does what it was built to do. It scans the people nearby, finds the ones who are ahead, and generates the quiet, persistent feeling that you are not quite enough yet. That feeling once kept your ancestors alive. It pushed them to close the gap, to reach for the rung above, to not be the one left behind when winter came. It was never meant to make you happy. It was meant to keep you moving. You are not ungrateful. You are running ancient software in a world it was never designed for. So look at where it lives in your own life, the small drop in your stomach when a friend mentions their bonus, the new car in the driveway next door that makes your own unchanged since yesterday suddenly feel old, the slow scroll through someone's holiday, someone's kitchen, someone's effortless-looking life, and the way your own life, objectively fine, quietly begins to feel like falling behind. The way a number on a screen, a colleague's salary, a school friend's new house, can quietly reorganize how you feel about a life you were perfectly content with an hour earlier. Your salary did not change in any of those moments. Your savings did not move. Nothing in the real world shifted at all. Only the person you were standing beside changed, and that alone was enough to change how rich you felt. Here is the thing about a comparison. It has no ceiling. There is no amount of money that ends the measuring, because the measuring was never really about the money. Give the mind more, and it simply finds someone with even more to stand beside. The rich feel richer not because they crossed some final line, but because they have found people to look down toward, and the rest feel behind because they are looking up. Your bank balance is a fact. Your wealth is a feeling. And a feeling built entirely on comparison can never, by its own design, arrive. So the next time you feel behind, it may be worth asking one quiet question. Behind whom? And who told you they were the finish line?